Everybody talks about manifesting your dream life, your desires, the money, a new relationship, or any kind of reality that you want. But nobody actually talks about the hardest part of the entire manifestation process, which is when you are right at the breakthrough to enter your new reality. When people talk about manifestation, they usually imagine suddenly things going their way, just waking up one day and being in that new life. But that's not what actually happens. In fact, your external reality is the very last thing that changes. First, you need to change your beliefs, your habits, then your decisions change. And once you are consistent enough in doing all of that work, along with your healing journey, your shadow work that you have done previously, only then your reality can catch up in the precisely right timing. Not when you want it to happen, but instead when you will actually align. And this is genuinely the hardest part of the entire manifestation process. This is the exact moment when most of the people quit. Because all of that resistance of your old identity, your old self, that is trying to do everything it can to survive, that resistance can get very uncomfortable at times. But let me tell you why this happens. Your brain and your ego hate change. And therefore, anytime you are trying to change something in your life, even those small things, for example, you want to start a weight loss journey or you want to change certain habits, every single time you want to change anything in your programming, something that you've been doing automatically for a long period of time, your brain will naturally start to resist it because you are doing something it's not familiar with. Even though that old life is something you do not prefer, are just not feeling good at, and you want to change it, but still your brain, even though it's something that you do not want to experience anymore, is trying to pull you back, because even though it's uncomfortable, it's still familiar. And your brain hates unfamiliar things. Because when we go back to thousands years ago, our brains and bodies are still developed to the survival. And every single time you are going to do something different, your brain recognizes it as unfamiliar and therefore a danger. It cannot predict the future, and so it's trying to pull you back. And that's why every single time you are trying to change, and especially when you're trying to leave your old identity, your old self behind, those patterns that's been happening for, let's say, 20, 30, 40 years of your life, every single time you are trying to change it, that's a massive thing for your brain and for your ego to experience. They will try to do everything they possibly can to prevent it, but you need to outsmart them and continue doing those things anyways. You need to stay focused on that goal, that new life you want for yourself. No matter what it costs you, you have to keep going. And every single time you will have those thoughts, those limiting beliefs, and any doubt or fear, which you will have, trust me, it always happens. It cannot be smooth, unfortunately. It's never easy. If it would be easy, of course, everyone would just manifest, very easily. But if you're trying to manifest something and change, and the bigger that new life, your new self will be, the more resistance you will be facing. For example, you want to become a multimillionaire, a public speaker, you want to run the companies, you want to do huge things. The bigger that transformation is from where you've been to where you want to get, well, it's a big difference, right? So, of course, your old self will feel uncomfortable. It will start freaking out, and you will start having all of those thoughts of, what do you think you're doing? Who do you think you are? Well, you cannot do that. There's no way that I'm gonna do this. Maybe I should give up. Maybe I should get back to my old job. Maybe I should just stop or anything possible. But this is when you just cannot give up. You cannot go back to your old life anymore. And especially if you always knew that you are meant to be successful, that you are meant to be rich, that you are meant to be seen, or whatever it is. When you have that in your heart, and when you feel deep within that that is what you are meant to do, and you are meant to be that person, trust me, you cannot go back to your old life, because it will always be within you, and it will not leave you alone until you achieve what you're meant to achieve. And however hard it is, it will be freaking hard, I'm telling you. The important thing is to not let that old identity to pull you back. You need to keep going, and you need to keep reprogramming your subconscious mind. Keep not resisting, not fighting those beliefs directly. You don't want to create resistance, but you want to work with them from the space of observing. So every single time you want to observe those thoughts and replace them with those new beliefs. If you need to meditate, if you need to pray, if you need to journal, whatever you choose. But you need to change those thoughts and replace them with the positive ones every single time that happens. So I will lead you through 3 different points that you can apply to get you from that space of doubting yourself and resisting what is happening to the actual manifestation in your new life. Point number 1, stop negotiating with your old identity. Every single time you decide to be someone different, talking about changing your identity and entering a new life, okay? We are not going to be talking about small habits, but this big transformation that you might be going through. Every single time you decide to be someone different, and you can change it throughout your whole life. You decide, I don't want to be, a shop assistant anymore. I just want to be a motivational speaker. Well, your old identity will start freaking out because you've never done that before, but you know that you want to do that in your heart, and you just know that it's the right thing for you. And you want to step on the stage, even though it is your dream and you know that you're meant to do it, it is not who you used to be, and so that old identity start freaking out. And this is exactly when you need to stop negotiating with that old self. You need to start looking at that new self. Let's take that example as you want to be a motivational speaker. What would that person that you want to become do every single day when you wake up? What would they do throughout the day? Would they create content? Would they practice? Would they take some lessons? Or whatever that is, start acting as your new self. And every single time you catch yourself doing the same thing as that old self, your old identity, you need to change it again to what that new self would do instead. I actually come from fitness background, and I was a personal trainer, online coach for an X amount of years. Also, fitness was a part of my life for nearly a decade. I was on social media for such a long time, and I was constantly posting everything about training, nutrition, exercises, workouts, and every single morning, for example, as I went to the gym or I was training, I was taking selfies or I took pictures of my food, and I always posted that on my stories as a part of my content, and I was doing this every single day, even without thinking. It was a part of my old identity. And I had to actually catch myself to not do that anymore, because if I'm meant to become someone new and that new identity no longer does those things, of course I'm gonna go to the gym and wear nice clothes and eat healthy. But I no longer post selfies and take pictures of my food and post that on my stories. Because honestly, the person that I was becoming doesn't do that, at least not as a part of my personal brand. So many times I had to actually catch myself and stop doing it. That old me actually did this, but I want to be this kind of person now. What do they actually do? I was losing that part of myself that's been repeatedly doing the same thing all over again for so many years that it felt just so strange. So I had to reprogram my mind and just change all my habits, change what I do throughout the day, and start showing up as that new version of me, and not allow that old version of me to be trying to pull me back to the same habits and same beliefs. It doesn't mean that you cannot do similar things as your old self. Of course, you will still have similar hobbies, or meeting people and so on, but just think about it that way, that everything that no longer aligns with your new self just needs to go. The more you want it, the more you need to try to get yourself to do everything as much as possible as that new version of you. Okay, let's move on to the point 2, which is a little bit different, and it's about your faith. We could take it from the religious perspective, but faith comes from everything. Whether you are spiritual, religious, or you are looking into the quantum mechanics and more science-based knowledge, honestly, it's all the same. What faith refers to is basically believing in what you cannot see. What Bible teaches that you are meant to believe before you see. And it is actually not about what Christian people would interpret would be that you are meant to believe in God, that He is up there and you should not question that. But that is not what the Bible actually talks about. It talks about manifestation and about believing in what you are, what you want to manifest, before you can see that actual reflection in your physical reality. That's all that is. It isn't about pretending. It's about that deep knowing within, that you are meant to have something in your life. You can feel it in your heart, your intuition, your third eye. And when you feel it so much, there is no way that it does not exist already. Firstly, religious people could say, if you have some dream in your heart, God put it there for a reason. So, in other words, God didn't give you a dream for no reason. It is there because you are meant to have it. When we look at it from the perspective of the quantum mechanics, in the quantum field, apparently there are an infinite versions of you. And whichever version of you you resonate with at the moment or in this lifetime, you are tuning into the frequency of that version of you. For example, your dream and your deep knowing is based around you becoming a multimillionaire. So it is not because you just made it up in your head, it's because it already exists. You are sensing it, you are feeling that version of you that already is there. So now what you need to do all of that transformation in order that you will manifest that version of you, that you will become it, that you will become that multi-millionaire of whatever version of you, because you can. Everything is possible. There is no limit to what you cannot manifest. If you are catching that version of you already, it's already there. Now you need to believe that you can have it. You can't see it, you can't touch it, but you can feel it. So when you have that faith in that you can become it, or you can manifest certain thing, let's say you want to manifest your dream car. You do not have it yet, but you feel that deep inside that that's what you want to have one day, and that you know that you will have it. So you need to believe in what you cannot see yet, so that eventually you will manifest that into your current reality. But here's the tricky part. Many people want things, whether it's manifesting their new life, or they just want to manifest certain physical things, the car, a house, $1 million. And now they automatically, because of the way how we've been programmed, start thinking, oh, but it costs this much, and how much I need to make, how many hours I have to do, and possible scenarios of what you need to do in order to manifest that thing into your reality. But the tricky part is that is none of your business, because how you manifest is by you deciding on what you want and then you let go. It's not your business on how you get there. in what time you get there. You just know you will have it. You know what you want, you are certain of it. But you are not meant to be figuring out in your brain how to get that manifestation in. That is on God, the universe, the source, or whatever higher power you believe in. It does not matter. It's about you letting go of control, the resistance. Because if you're trying to control how and when you will get that manifestation, you will create resistance because you are trying to control it. But that is what is faith about. You letting go of control, you surrendering. And by surrendering, I do not mean giving up. By surrendering, I mean you letting go of control and resistance. And once you do it, once you have that faith and that knowing that what you want will find you, there are so many different ways you can manifest that you couldn't even comprehend, because the universe, God, can deliver that thing to you in the ways you cannot even imagine. That's why when you start thinking about, oh, I want a Lamborghini, but how much money I have to make, how many clients I have to get in order to get this amount of money, and how much to no, that's not your business. Everything will come to you once you're released of control. And that's exactly what faith is about. That's why so many people who are self-made multi-millionaires, billionaires, who came from nothing, who've been broke, they either have the faith in God or they understand how to actually manifest and how that entire process work. You need to have an unwavering trust in that process, and of that what you want to manifest is already yours, and you need to act from that place. And the point 3 is probably the most insane one, and that's learning to ignore your current reality. That's when you literally start thinking that you've gone insane. And I think it's the best place to not discuss your goals with anyone else and don't take it seriously. You're not mad. You are literally just in the process of manifesting your biggest dream life. But for those people who do not understand what you're going through, it will be really hard to understand. So it's better to either keep it for yourself or just discuss it with those people who actually know what is happening. They have been at that place probably at some point in their life. And this is probably the hardest lessons of all, because every single day your current reality will try to convince you that nothing is changing. You will look at your bank account, the numbers are same or they are falling down. It's the hardest part. Or you will look around yourself, you still live in the same apartment, the same environment, or perhaps that person and that relationship you want to manifest, it's still not showing up. Also, the opportunities have not arrived yet. And then you start asking yourself, is something actually working? You will start doubt yourself, you will start to have fear, thinking about going back. But this is the trickiest part, because you cannot do it. But here's what I learned. Your current reality is not showing you where you're going. It's just showing you where you've been. When you look at your bank account or your environment, it is not your new reality, your new self. It's only what has been. The remnants of your old self, of your old life, which will soon change once you align. So do not look at those things as this is my reality and nothing is changing, because it might just seem that way, but eventually you will start attracting those opportunities, you will meet that person, everything will start slowly lead you and prove to you you are getting that new life you desire. So instead you need to become emotionally detached from what you are seeing now or what you are currently experiencing. Not because you are trying to deny the current reality, but because the reality takes time to actually reorganize itself around who you are becoming. Think about it as you order something online. You place the order, you know exactly what you want, you paid for it, and now you are waiting until it arrives. But if you are constantly checking, has it arrived yet? Has it arrived? You know that it's gonna arrive eventually, but maybe it's been a little bit delayed for whatever reason. And so you need to just wait, let go, go around your day, and it will arrive. But the more you're checking, you will not speed up the process. The more you check in, you get yourself anxious, and that's exactly when it will take probably even longer. And it happened to me a couple of times already. Let's say I ran out of the protein powder, and I was like, I need to order quickly which website I can order from that it will arrive as fast as possible. And then I ordered it. It was delayed because I was like, is it here yet? Is it here? I was checking the delivery status and tracking, and it just took such a long time. But about 2 weeks ago, I still had a little bit left of my protein powder, and I learned from the last time. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna order already, so by the time I will finish my current one, the new one will arrive. And you know what happened? I ordered in the evening, Thursday evening, I ordered at 9 p.m. By 9 a.m. next morning, it was at my doorstep. I didn't need it. And that's exactly when you do not create that resistance, when you are not in that need and you are not anxious about something to arrive quickly. That's exactly when it just comes to you easily and effortlessly. So coming back to the 3 points, what we've learned in this video, remember to first of all, stop negotiating with your old identity. You need to embody your new identity and start acting from that space as you already are it. Point 2, stop trying to control how and when you will manifest your new life or anything else you want. You need to have that unwavering faith that what you want and what you are manifesting is already yours. And number 3, ignore your current reality. Always remember, your current reality is only the reflection of your old self, of your old life, not the new one. It's just the remnants. So I'm gonna leave it here. I hope this video helped you. Please give it a like and leave any comments down below. I would be happy to know what you're going through, what you've been manifesting, and yeah, I just hope it helped. Make sure to subscribe as well. It would be very, very helpful for me to create more videos like this. Also let me know what would you like to know more about, and I will see you in the next video.